When it comes to past life connections, it works like this, right? For example, you meet someone and you feel an intense connection with them, like if you've met them from somewhere, like you know them from somewhere. And it happens all the time. It could literally be a stranger or someone that you just met or someone that you've seen and you're like, I know you from somewhere. That's really common. That happens a lot, right? And because we have had other lives and we're here doing it again so that we could get it right this time, depending on the type of life we've had before, the people that were in your past, they will come back again during this time around, so that you could overcome the lesson, let's say, right? And what I'm getting to is that these people could come to you in many forms. It could be your family, such as mom, dad, aunt, husband, cousin, even children, right? Because we're spirit, right? So if in a past life you had an enemy, where do you think this enemy is going to come in? It's going to come in through your family. That's why some of us have had very hard experiences with our families, because the spirit operating through them were spirits that we known from before. And also the enemy is going to want to stop you from an early age, right? They're going to want to be the closest to you so that it could create the most harm to you. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like, I know what you're capable of. I'm going to keep an eye on you from the earliest I can. How can I do that? So the easiest way to do that is through your family, right? And so for me, what I've came to realize is that, we're not born wicked, right? We have to have something in us that's going to be able to allow whatever spirit is haunting you from another timeline to gain access to the people closest to you. I don't know if that makes sense. But where I'm getting at is that because of our wounds, that's how these spirits gain access to us. For example, in my family, there was a generational curse of love. The women in my family, they experienced a lot of heartbreak. They were not treated well by their husbands. They sacrificed a lot to keep the family together, which meant sacrificing themselves. And because it went it was like a generational curse where men continued to hurt them and betray them and belittle them and make them feel unworthy. And then their heart got hard, right? And they began to make not so good choices, right? And that was the access point for this spirit to come into my family, so that it could do what it comes to do, which is kill. What is it? Kill, destroy. Like when you ask the devil, what are you doing? Oh, just looking for whom I could kill and destroy. Like when God comes to the devil, it's like, oh, what are you doing, devil? I'm just out here looking for whom to kill and destroy type of scenario, right? That's exactly how it gains access through our wounds, which is why it's so important that we heal. But what I'm getting to is that sometimes we have very rough experiences. Some of us had it in our childhood the most, and in order to understand the whole picture, we have to understand our bloodline, like what happened to the women in the family, what was their history, what happened to the men in the family, how did they behave, how did they carry themselves. For example, with me, My mother and my father were deeply in love. They were like twin flames, like half a soul, like half of a soul, like they were a divine counterpart type of scenario. And my mom and my dad separated. I don't know if it was while my mom was pregnant or after she gave birth to me, but they loved each other a lot, like a lot. Like they made me with a lot of love. But they separated, right? And that really hurt my mom. And they both wanted a piece of me because that was the only thing that they could grab onto of each other. And they went ahead and they went down a dark road of dark arts, and my mom was very hurt, and she chose not to love again. And so like she's like, I'm never gonna feel this again. I'm never gonna open up my heart again like this. And so that was the access point for the enemy to come in and take ownership of her because she was wounded, right? And so and then she loved my dad so much, and I reminded her so much of my dad, that when I guess when she sees me or when she saw me, it was so painful, or it just like it reminded her of the trauma. So there goes the reason as to why the behavior, and why the wickedness, which is not an excuse, but it's like I'm going back to try to understand what the hell. And it was because of love. And I find it to be so cute. Like, I love love. I'm all about love. I love Disney movies with the Prince Charming and all that good stuff. So I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. But it's the way to break that is through self-love. And so the women in my family, they either didn't have the opportunity to choose themselves, because like for my family, we come from a very poor place, and the times before are not the same times as now. So even if they wanted to do it, I don't think that they were really equipped with what they needed, or they had the strength to do it. It was different times. Women were not able to work and all types of good stuff, and then they had a lot of children. But that's neither here or there. But the cure for that was self-love, right? And so here I am as an adult, loving on myself, choosing me. And so that generational curse has been broken because I chose love. And in order for me to love anybody else, I have to be able to love myself first. And because I've done that, what the things that worked before on me, the manipulation, the fear, it just doesn't work anymore, because I now am grounded in who I am. I now am grounded in love, in self-love, which essentially led me to finding God. And so one of the generational curses that I broke was that one of love. And I was just so like, oh my God, this is so cute. It was horrific what happened to me, but it's so cute. Because I love love. And it's just, it kind of like makes it worth it, knowing that it's love.